Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're gonna do a little bit of an update to the previous videos we had today, actually. We've got another cancellation. Anime Expo is canceling.
Yes.
This shouldn't surprise anybody.
Nope.
But people are still gonna be surprised.
I expect most cons to be canceled this year.
I'm still waiting for New York Comic Con to get canceled. I mean, they're using the Javits Center.
Well, they were. I think they're not using it as much now because I don't think there's many people,
okay.
so they're sending people back to the hospitals. But they still were using it as an infirmary.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. I think at least especially in California, because they are, the governor out there is like, we're not going to open everything up until we feel it's safe. So any large gatherings in California probably going to be off the table. I think it was to be expected.
Yeah, I think PowerCon's going to probably get canceled as well.
You said WonderCon.
WonderCon did too.
WonderCon got canceled. Star Wars Celebration, that's in Anaheim this summer.
Yeah, that hasn't been yet.
Well, it's at Disneyland. It's across the street from Disney.
Believe.
So, yeah, they might be waiting on that one, but I think it's a pretty good bet that that's also going to be canceled. Again, this changes everything because, as I mentioned in the other video talking about San Diego Comic-Con, which was a big one, which again shouldn't have surprised anybody, but people were still surprised because it was late July.
Right.
This is going to be catastrophic for the comic book industry, for pop culture, for artists, for creators, because so many people depend on convention revenue.
Yeah, conventions in general, they've been canceled since probably March on, even some in February even. A lot of people, they go from a convention to convention, that's how they make their money, and now they don't have the shows to bankroll themselves. So
no, and I was actually telling people that that's how we did it for years. We did the convention scene, and thank God for it, because it paid the bills better than comics did.
Yeah, my pillows are very popular.
Yes, well, when we're talking pillows, we're talking she makes pillows and sells them, not her.
Yes, okay, I didn't know how
just to clarify. But yeah, I mean, we did better at conventions than we did doing comic book work.
Yeah.
And that's true for a lot of artists. And Anime Expo is a good show for a lot of anime style artists, and it's gone. So what's going to be interesting is whether or not, now everybody's planning on coming back next year, but it's very hard to start that machine up again when you miss a year, because they depend on the revenue from the previous year. Now,
yeah, but though they still have the revenue. Well, some of them do. Some of them said that their insurance wouldn't cover the losses. So I don't know. But they should have revenue left over for the show they canceled.
You would think. But in 29 years, this is the first time they've had to cancel it. This is coming from the official Twitter account, Anime Expo. It's with heavy hearts that we're announcing the cancellation of AX 2020. Our utmost concerns for the health and safety of our community. This is one of the most difficult decisions we had to make in 29 years. So they're still planning for 2021, July 2nd through the 5th. Hopefully by then, everything is straightened out. Of course, the Olympics, the Olympics were canceled. So when they cancel the Olympics and they cancel San Diego Comic-Con, it's pretty natural to expect, smaller cons.
Yeah, I figured this was coming. Well, you already said a couple days ago you were hearing that from reliable sources.
Yeah.
That it was going to be canceled, but this hadn't made the announcement yet.
Yeah, I mentioned it in a previous video. Actually, the one talking about San Diego, that I had on pretty good authority that they were going to cancel Anime Expo.
And then a little bit later, they canceled Anime Expo.
After I did that video, but it is canceled.
We knew it was coming.
I would just say at this point, unless your convention is way late in the year, this year is going to be a bust. It's going to be a bust. And it is going to hurt a lot of people, because not only is, Hollywood shrinking, the comic book industry is in chaos right now. And a lot of people are like, well, that's okay, I've got conventions. And no, they don't.
Yeah.
So, speaking of comics and related jobs, now this, again, adds credence to some of the insiders.
So is all day like comics news? Is that all we done today?
Pretty much.
Oh, that's boring. Anyway,
it is boring. I think tomorrow we're going to mix it up a little bit.
We need to mix it up a little bit.
Well, it's because there's been so much actually happening in comics. It's so weird. We went for months without really covering comics, and now it's like all comics. It's all conventions are canceling, publishers are imploding, people are getting laid off. It's crazy.
The world right now is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So
this is interesting, because I was talking to a friend last night who said that they had heard that Disney was laying off all of their Marvel Studios and Disney Studios PR people. Like, they're all getting gone.
Well, some of those people should get gone. That's another story entirely.
Yeah, but like, why would they keep them there? Because I thought, well, maybe the marketing people would be essential, but why would they keep them on staff when there are no movies to promote?
Right.
No comics to promote.
So wait, does that mean that we're not going to have as many hit pieces against fans?
We're already seeing a decrease in that.
I know. I'm just saying that this will be like the hit pieces will further decline.
Yes, they will, and they're going to decline anyway because we've been talking about how the ad revenue for these websites is declining.
Well, yesterday it was funny because one person was talking smack about us, and it was hilarious.
Just one?
And I was on Twitter, and back when I was working for the other blog, and even now, I have notebooks full of data on different sites and competitors and things like that, you know, to understand where the stuff's coming from. And one thing I learned a couple years ago when I was doing some research on Twitter, where there were these people that were getting these, like they put up an article and they'd get like, you know, 20 retweets, and it would be the same people. Or you start looking into it, and what they had were these accounts that they'd have, like they might follow 100 people, or they might have 100 followers, but that are these some of these blogs, but they'd follow like 2,000 people. And the 2,000 people they followed would be the same kinds of people. Almost always ones I was searching, it would be Disney companies, including Disney. Yeah. Disney, I am really sure was cheating their Twitter too. Disney and companies related to it. And then there'd always be these adult entertainers. Always, it would be like, you know, I'm this porn star, that porn star, whatever. Adult entertainers always were in this mix. And then like other, like, you know, sports stars or whatever. And the whole point of these accounts they weren't real Twitter accounts. They were just people getting paid to go and retweet. And you'd look at almost everything they do is retweets. Yeah. And occasionally they make comments or whatever, usually negative against somebody who was going against one of the clients on their site. And that's what this person was coming up. They were making comments against us, but when I went and looked into it, they had a lot of adult entertainers and Disney sites and so like just the typical ones you'd expect.
Yeah.
For somebody who was a shill account that was just there to get paid to artificially inflate other people's Twitter accounts. So I thought that was funny because you were mentioning about that, and that just reminded me of it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a decrease, knock on, well, it's glass, but knock on pseudo wood here, in some of the weird ass comments we used to get.
I don't really care. I don't even read them half the time.
Yeah, and like Disney related videos or on Twitter or whatever. And I think it's because the Disney marketing machine has run out of money. Mm-hmm. I think that's my personal theory.
A couple of the usual suspects suddenly disappeared.
They suddenly disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but that was what this one person was. He was making comments on Twitter about us. And when I looked into his Twitter, I was like, all the red flags because I've done this. Trust me, I've done my research on this crap for a while. It's part of my job. All the red flags were there, and I was like, oh, of course. So now they're sending people out to talk bad about us too. So whatever.
Anyway, a hit is a hit, and we'll take.
You can actually buy negative hits. Apparently,
you can. There are multiple sites out there where you can basically buy troll comments, and they're cheap too. Like $10, you can have people flood with negative comments. Anyway, don't do that. It's not very nice. But Marvel Entertainment staff, more Marvel Entertainment staff furloughed. Now, this is in addition to the Disney and Marvel PR people that I was hearing about.
Right, because you haven't had an announcement of that. That's still rumor.
There is no. Well, I have it on very good authority. I don't know if the source.
I know, but I'm saying that hasn't been announced in the media yet.
No, they're not going to. Basically, Disney said, "Hey, we're in the studios, on the studio end of things. We're laying off non-essential employees, and apparently that includes like their entire PR team, or most of them."
No, they bring them back. They should bring people who don't think Instagram is the best tool ever.
Yeah, hopefully they'll rethink their marketing a little bit when they come back. But several employees of Marvel Entertainment have been told they will be furloughed as part of Walt Disney Company's wider measures to stem the financial effects of the coronavirus pandemic. Newsarama has confirmed that the affected Marvel employees are being notified today. So this is different than the ones I've heard about. Right. With furloughs taking effect on April 26th. They keep saying furlough, right? They keep saying oh, it's okay, we're laying you off, but we're giving you benefits. And it sounds nice, but I'm telling you, if the money's not there, they're not going to bring everybody back.
Right, I agree with you.
It's a nice way of, no hard feelings, right? We're going to pay your bills, for a little bit anyway. And they also want the option of being able to bring people back. So they talk about how, puts them on temporary leave of absence that may or may not be paid in the time off.
Basically what it sounds like to me is you're on leave of absence, so we can call you back and you're supposed to sit and wait. If we lay you off or fire you, you can go work for somebody else. And you know what I mean? So basically
like a competitor.
These people are stalled out, essentially. I mean, you can technically go work for somebody else if you want to.
Yeah.
But basically they're trying to keep the mindset of you're coming back, so they stay loyal and they stall them out from going someplace else and the chance they get to bring them back.
Right. And I think what's going to happen in this case, these are Marvel Entertainment, so this would be probably in relation to the comic book publisher, because we know they're, we're not talking freelancers, right? We're not talking the freelancers. We're talking office staff. And, I'm telling you, at some point in time, Disney is going to decide that having Marvel Comics as a comic book publisher is no longer worth it. It's going to make it way easier to just make this a permanent thing if you save a bunch of money cutting these people loose, and then you realize, hey, we really didn't need like 30 PR people.
That's right. It wasn't going to happen. I think they'll lead some of them back, or some of the people that were problematic, or they don't feel like they were redundancies. They might not bring them back.
Yeah. So this is going to be a case of Disney is going to want to break up with them, but you're supposed to wait around to see if you've been dumped or not. You're not supposed to go anywhere else. But if Disney,
people are going to, though.
Yeah, we saw what was going on with Diamond. I talked about that yesterday, that their marketing director, he laid off for a week, and he goes and he takes a job someplace else.
You can do it. If you can take a job someplace else that's more secure, that you think you'd be happier at, by all means. Yeah,
so I think what we're going to see is Disney downsize Marvel Entertainment considerably, starting with the comics, and this might unfortunately wind up being a permanent thing for a lot of people. Now, mentioning Diamond real quick, I just wanted to follow up with this just real quick, since we're kind of doing a hodgepodge video here. I did get more information on who the distributors were that DC Comics is using to take the place of Diamond, and they're two comic book retailers. So they've got comic book retailers basically stepping over the corpse of Diamond, which isn't even cold yet.
Well, Diamond's claiming they're going to start shipping again, May or June or something? I don't even know.
I think changing. Just because of this, because there are other people stepping in. But yeah, it's Midtown Comics and Discount Comic Book Service, supposedly going to step in as distributors to distribute comics to shops.
Still say it's ridiculously dumb that it went this long with no competition.
I completely agree. And what's going to happen? I think this whole thing is going on because DC and Marvel are desperate to, show that they're still worth something to Disney and to Warner Brothers. And they're going to be like, oh, please don't cut us. We're still making money. Because
now we're the distributor for comics. So,
You have to keep us. But we're watching like nerd culture. This is not a good year for nerd culture.
I do have a little bit of good news, though.
Oh, give us some good news.
Okay, so on a good news note, AMC Theaters might not go under. So earlier today, I haven't checked it lately, their stocks were going up. And the reason their stocks were going up, and we're talking like a significant increase, like 37%, because they dropped 66 and then they were going up like 33 or 34%. What happened was they were able to put out there, they were going to take some like private funding and things for $500 million. They're putting it out there to get the funding. So with that liquidity, the news of that gave investors more of a secure feeling. So they started investing again in AMC. But that and the fact that the theaters are all, pushing back the release dates for the theaters have raised the opinion of their security, so that people are boosting their stocks on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the stocks are going up based on the fact that the movie theaters the movies are being pushed back until end of summer, July and later. So that gives them time to get this back and up and running, or whatever phase that would be for theaters. I think that's like phase 1, phase 2.
I think it's. Yeah, as long as people sit.
Yeah, as long as they keep this social distancing, so they can get open sooner. And since the studios agreed to do that instead of sending everything to digital, that gave them a boost. And then the news that they're getting the capital they need to stay open. As it is, like their CEO and most of their staff is laid off. At this point, they're also negotiating with landlords for the theaters to try to defer payments and things to keep as much money as possible. But they think they can hold out to Thanksgiving at this point.
Okay.
So if they can get the theaters back open and the movies in the theaters as they plan, AMC might make it through. Okay. So that's the good news.
Well, that actually is good news, because most of the theaters around us are AMC theaters.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like, oh crap, we're not getting any movie theaters. Now, the thing is that what would have been the deal breaker is if everybody decided to just go direct to digital.
If they had done that, yes, the theaters, the fact that the studios stuck by the theaters and kept their symbiotic relationship going, which they really need, because they can't go out and brag about their box office if there's no provable numbers to brag about, right? So they have a symbiotic thing going on here.
Parasitic.
Yeah, well, they stayed true to the movie theaters, and because they did that and pushed their dates back, That boosted the theaters and the investments in the theaters. And then AMC and I know Cinemark, and then we're going out and getting outside investments to keep them afloat. And like AMC, like they're doing everything they can do at this point. Like I said, even the CEO's furloughed, but he's still doing his job to try to keep it, to get what they need and keep it going.
Yeah.
So it might make it. So it's good news for those who are all upset that we might lose movie theaters. I mean, personally, I could take or leave theaters, but I understand that it's really, really, really important to a lot of people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that work at AMC. I mean,
I would worry about that. They own like over 8,000 theaters, and they're like the biggest chain in the world or something. So that is good news. Everybody's like, you only say negative news. No, I'm not. I'm giving you good news. Good news. AMC has a really good chance of weathering this now.
Yeah.
So AMC might make it through.
Okay, that is good news. So we're going to wrap it up on a positive note. Check out Clownfish TV Gaming. I don't know if you guys know we have other channels out there trying to get those up that are not news related, but just fun stuff. So Clownfish TV Gaming, we do gaming with the kids. And out on Clownfish Animation, we're going to be doing more art and animation videos.
I've been telling him to do Disney drawings and stuff. Disney character fan art. He's like, well, no one wants to see that. But then he put a sketch of Scrooge and people loved it.
Yeah, I have a new tablet to review. I have a Wacom One. It's a budget-friendly tablet they actually sent me to review, and they said, "Hey, what do you think? Is this a good option for people, especially now with the economy being in the dumps? We can get Wacom for under $400.
Or if you want to get one for your kids, because it's a really affordable tablet if you're a budding artist.
Yeah.
So actually, our daughter's going to use it.
She's gonna be we're gonna be doing a review of that. Pinky Boo's gonna be doing some drawing on it, and I'm gonna put it through the paces.
She's very excited.
She is very excited. So it's a good little unit. It's under $400. It's Wacom. It's pretty surprising. So
we'll get that information to you as soon as we review.
Yeah. So we're gonna have some good news, guys. Really, we are.
Trust me, we actually prefer to make things and create things and do fun things. That's more what we do.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.